I don't have anything to do with Tiger does off the course, and whatever he does is his own business. But, to have been labelled a liar in the media is very disappointing to me. I tell the truth, I've told the facts, I know nothing about it.
The scandal of Tiger Woods and his former caddies has finally revealed a dark truth that challenges everything we thought we knew about loyalty, brotherhood, and the price of greatness. For decades, the world saw Tiger as the ultimate champion, a man who dominated golf with an iron will and unmatched focus. But the people who stood closest to him, the men who carried his bag through major championships and personal disasters, tell a very different story. They speak of a cold machine that chewed up loyalty and spat out broken friendships. This is not just about golf. This is about what happens when perfection becomes more important than people. In professional golf, the relationship between a player and a caddy is supposed to be sacred. The caddy is not just someone who carries clubs. He is a technical advisor who reads every blade of grass and calculates wind speed down to the decimal. He is a psychological confidant who knows when to stay silent and when to offer encouragement. He is a protector who shields his player from distractions and pressure. The bond is meant to be unbreakable, a two-against-the-world partnership that can withstand anything the tour throws at them. For most players, the caddy becomes family. They share hotel rooms, celebrate victories together, and grieve losses side by side. The connection runs deeper than business. But Tiger Woods never operated like most players. His inner circle looked loyal from the outside, but the reality was something far more brutal. The men who worked for him were not treated as partners. They were treated as components in a finely tuned machine. If you want to see more stories like this exposed, use the hype feature and give hype to this video right now. Your support helps us bring these hidden truths to light. The pattern that emerges from their stories is chilling. Celebrity had to be controlled. Humiliation was ignored. Silence was demanded. And when the machine no longer needed you, you were disposed of without hesitation or remorse. The cracks in the Tiger machine are showing now in the 2026 landscape. The man who once seemed unstoppable is playing just 2 to 6 tournaments per year. His body, ravaged by surgeries and a horrific car accident, can no longer sustain the relentless schedule that made him a legend. The competitive fire still burns, but the flesh is weak, and as the machine slows down, the parts are finally starting to speak. The silence is breaking. The most recent casualty is number 3, Joe LaCava, the veteran caddy who stood by Tiger through his remarkable 2019 comeback and the painful, frustrating years that followed. LaCava was the definition of loyalty. He waited patiently while Tiger recovered from surgery after surgery. He rearranged his entire life around Tiger's unpredictable schedule. He never complained publicly. He believed in the bond. He thought this partnership was different. But by 2023, the reality became impossible to ignore. Tiger was playing so rarely that LaCava could not build a sustainable career around him anymore. A caddy needs regular work to survive on tour. They need consistent income and purpose. Waiting months for a single Tiger start was no longer practical or financially viable. So in May 2023, LaCava made the difficult but necessary move to Patrick Cantlay's bag. The split was framed as amicable. Tiger gave his blessing. The media called it a mutual understanding. But the dark truth underneath is this. The era where men would sacrifice their own careers to serve Tiger Woods has finally ended. LaCava's departure was not explosive like the splits that came before, but it was the final proof that loyalty in the Tiger camp has always been a one-way street. When the machine was running at full speed and dominating the sport, loyalty meant everything. Now that the machine is sputtering and fading, loyalty means nothing. LaCava has hinted that Tiger is likely to test the waters on the senior tour when he turns 50. He will play a handful of Champions events while focusing more on the golf careers of his children, Charlie and Sam. The competitive chapter is closing. The legacy phase is beginning. And as that transition happens, the truth about how Tiger treated the people closest to him is spilling out. This is what happens when the machine stops running. The parts finally speak, and what they are saying is damning. To understand how we got here, you have to go back and look at what this job was supposed to be versus what it actually became. The traditional caddy role is built on mutual respect. The player trusts the caddy with their career. The caddy trusts the player with their livelihood. They succeed together or fail together. There is no hierarchy. There is only partnership. But in the Tiger Woods camp, that philosophy never existed. The structure was always corporate. The caddy was an employee, not a peer. The spotlight was a finite resource that could only be occupied by one person, and that person was Tiger. Anyone who tried to step into the light, even accidentally, was seen as a threat to the brand. The first man to learn this lesson the hard way was number 2, the most successful caddy in Tiger's career, and the man who carried the bag through 13 major championships. Steve Williams was a New Zealander with a no-nonsense attitude and a legendary work ethic. He joined Tiger in 1999 and stayed for over a decade. Together, they built the most dominant partnership the sport has ever seen. Williams was there for the Triple Crown in 2000. He was there for the incredible run of major victories that cemented Tiger's place in history. And he was there when everything fell apart in 2009. But the relationship between Tiger and Williams was never the brotherhood the public imagined. Williams has described it as something far closer to servitude. One of the most disturbing patterns was Tiger's habit of club tossing. After a bad shot, Tiger would fling his club toward the bag or onto the ground. Williams was expected to pick it up like a servant. He later said that bending down to retrieve discarded clubs made him feel uneasy, like he was Tiger's slave. This was not competitive fire. This was dehumanization. Tiger also had a habit of spitting near the hole after missed putts, a gesture that showed contempt for the environment and everyone around him. Williams eventually confronted Tiger about these behaviors. There was a temporary clearing of the air, but the underlying dynamic never changed. Respect was not part of the equation. Utility was all that mattered. The most revealing moment of the Williams era came during the 72nd hole of the 2008 United States Open at Torrey Pines. Tiger was playing on a broken leg, forcing his damaged body through one more excruciating round to capture another major championship. Every step was agony. Every swing was a test of will. He was hesitant about the yardage for a critical shot that could determine the outcome of the tournament. Williams knew that Tiger needed to hit a hard lob wedge instead of a sand wedge to reach the hole. The margin for error was razor thin, so Williams made a calculated decision. He lied to him about the distance. He told Tiger he had to absolutely trust him, and if he was wrong, Tiger could fire him on the spot. The gamble worked. Tiger made the shot. He won the tournament in a playoff. But the interaction revealed a brutal truth about their relationship. Williams understood that his job security depended entirely on results, not on years of service or personal connection. The sacred trust was not mutual. It was a high-stakes performance requirement where failure meant immediate termination. If Williams delivered victory, he kept his job. If he failed, he would be discarded without hesitation. That moment foreshadowed what was coming. In late 2009, the Tiger Woods sex scandal exploded into public view. The Thanksgiving night car accident, the revelations about extramarital affairs, the complete collapse of his carefully managed image. It was a disaster that shook the sports world, and Steve Williams, who had been by Tiger's side for over a decade, was caught in the crossfire. Williams has always maintained that he was completely oblivious to Tiger's affairs. Even Tiger's wife did not know the full extent of the betrayals. But when the scandal broke, the media assumed Williams must have been complicit. The scrutiny was intense and humiliating. Williams repeatedly asked Tiger's management team, led by agent Mark Steinberg, to release a public statement clearing his name. He wanted them to confirm that he had no knowledge of the affairs. Management refused. They were worried that exonerating one member of the inner circle would make others look more suspicious. It would narrow the field of people protecting the brand, so they left Williams exposed. They hung him out to dry. Williams felt angry and frustrated. He realized that after contributing to 13 major titles, he was not a partner. He was a shield. The machine prioritized the preservation of the Tiger Woods brand above everything else, including the reputation of its most loyal soldier. When Tiger finally made a public apology in February 2010, Williams watched with disgust. He thought the apology was heavily scripted and way over the top. It felt like a corporate performance, not an authentic expression of remorse. Williams saw his friend transforming into a managed product. The brotherhood that Tiger had once claimed existed was dead. All that remained was a business relationship built on utility and control. The breaking point came in July 2011. Tiger fired Williams in what Williams later described as a cold-blooded execution. The catalyst was Williams' decision to caddy for Adam Scott, while Tiger was sidelined by injury. Tiger had initially given permission for Williams to work with Scott, but later Tiger used that decision as justification for the dismissal. Williams saw it for what it was, a convenient excuse to cut ties. After 12 years of service, after 13 majors, after standing by Tiger through the worst scandal in sports history, Williams was erased. And then came the most shocking part. Tiger and Williams did not speak a single word to each other for an entire decade. Think about that. Williams had been the best man at Tiger's wedding. They had shared the most successful professional partnership in the history of golf. And the moment Williams was no longer useful, Tiger treated him like he had never existed. There were no phone calls, no messages, no acknowledgement of the years they spent together. Just silence. This is the ice age that former Inner Circle members describe as the hardest pill to swallow. Once you are no longer useful to the mission, you are completely erased. The decade of silence proved that loyalty was a debt owed by the subordinate, not a commitment made by the leader. Williams tried to reclaim his story in 2015 when he published his book, out of the rough. The Woods camp saw it as a betrayal. Williams saw it as a necessary act of truth-telling after being abandoned by the machine. The narrative war continued, but the damage was done. The world had seen the pattern, and it was ugly. The earliest example of this pattern came with number 1, the man who helped Tiger transition from a celebrated amateur to a global professional superstar. Mike "Fluff" Cowan was a veteran caddy with a distinctive mustache and an affable personality. He was instrumental in Tiger's rise. Together, they won 7 PGA Tour events, including the historic 12-stroke triumph at the 1997 Masters. It was one of the most dominant performances in golf history, and Fluff was right there beside him. But the partnership was not ended because of poor performance. It was ended because of a fundamental conflict about celebrity and control. By late 1998, Fluff had become a celebrity in his own right. His recognizable image led to independent endorsement deals and high-profile media appearances. He did an interview with Golf Digest. He appeared in a Nike commercial. He was becoming a household name, and the Tiger Woods camp saw this as a problem. The management philosophy, even when Tiger was in his early 20s, was clear. The spotlight was a finite resource that could only be occupied by one individual. Fluff's larger-than-life persona was seen as a dilution of the Tiger Woods brand. There was only room for one star. Reports from the time indicate a verbal altercation at the Los Angeles Nissan Open. Tiger was irritated by Fluff's media presence. The firing was a clinical execution of a subordinate who had overstepped the unwritten boundaries of his role. But before the official announcement, Tiger used a strategy that would become a hallmark of his management style. He brought in his high school friend, Byron Bell, to carry the bag during several tournaments. Tiger won in San Diego with Bell on the bag. The move was publicly framed as an act of charity, helping Bell earn money for medical school. But the internal function was clear. It was a demonstration of Fluff's obsolescence. It was a message. You are replaceable. On March 10, 1999, the official firing was announced through a statement from Tiger's agent. The decision was framed as being in the best interest of both parties. But everyone knew the truth. Fluff had committed the unforgivable sin. He had stepped into the light. And in Tiger's world, there was no room for a partner. There was only room for employees who understood their place at the base of the mountain. Fluff was gone, replaced by the stoic Steve Williams, a man who would keep his head down and his mouth shut. At least for a while. The pattern is undeniable now. Fluff Cowan was removed when he became too famous. Steve Williams was used, exposed during the scandal, and then erased when he was no longer needed. Joe LaCava watched the machine slow down and realized that loyalty would not protect him from the cold reality of a fading career. All 3 men gave everything to Tiger Woods. They sacrificed time, energy, and dignity, and all 3 learned the same lesson. In the Tiger Woods machine, people are tools. When the tool stops working, you throw it away. This brings us to the central question that haunts this entire story. Was Tiger Woods a traitor to his caddies, or was he simply a man so obsessed with a singular mission that he had no room for sentimentality? The answer might be both, or neither. What is clear is that the scandal is not found in a single event. It is found in the persistent pattern of disposal. Tiger used the expertise of these men to build a mountain of achievement. Then he left them at the base while he climbed higher. He demanded absolute loyalty but returned none. He treated friendship as a byproduct of professional alignment. And when the alignment ended, the history of the relationship held zero value. For the men who stood in his shadow, this realization was devastating. They thought they were building something together. They thought the bond was real, but they were wrong. The shadow only exists as long as the light shines on it. The moment they stepped into their own light, or the moment Tiger's light flickered, they were discarded. The trail of broken friendships behind Tiger Woods is a testament to the brutal price of perfection. But here's the thing. Tiger Woods is still one of the greatest golfers who ever lived. His achievements are undeniable and remarkable. The 15 major championships, the record-breaking wins, the massive cultural impact he had on the sport and beyond. None of that goes away because of how he treated his caddies. Fans still respect the results. They still admire the focus and the drive. Greatness does not require kindness. It never has. But greatness also does not excuse the way Tiger turned people into disposable tools. You can acknowledge both truths at the same time. You can celebrate the legend while condemning the coldness. The men who carried Tiger's bag have finally told their stories. The machine has slowed down enough for the truth to come out. And the truth is uncomfortable and revealing. It reveals a man who valued winning above all else, even at the cost of the people who helped him get there. In the 1990s, we called it focus. In the 2000s, we called it intensity. Today, looking through the lens of those who were there, we see it for what it really was. A cold, calculated pursuit of immortality that left a trail of broken friendships in its wake. If this story changed how you see Tiger Woods, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden truths of sports. Drop a comment below and let us know. Do you think Tiger was justified in putting the mission above everything else, or did he cross a line? The debate is not over. The legend continues. But now, at least, we know the price that was paid behind the scenes.